Hey there, it's me, Dave. Bet you're wondering how I ended up here. Well, it all started when I decided to make weapon guides for Battlefield 6. Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer, and today we're starting the very first of my Battlefield 6 weapon guides. I'm going to be giving you all the information about the various weapons in Battlefield 6 and showing you my preferred builds and how to use these weapons. Today we're taking a look at the first assault rifle in the game and one of the most popular weapons, the M433. Starting off, let's take a look at the M433's damage. So at close range, below 20 meters, the M433 deals 25 damage and takes 4 shots to kill. Between 20 meters and 80 meters, the damage falls off to 20, making it a 5-shot kill, and beyond 80 meters, it falls once again to 17 damage, making it a 6-shot kill. This weapon has a default headshot multiplier of 1.35, which will reduce the number of shots to kill by 1 at all ranges, but only if you hit all of the shots as headshots, which doesn't happen that often. The M433 has an 830 RPM fire rate, giving it a time to kill of 217 milliseconds at close range and 290 milliseconds at medium range if you're able to hit all of your shots. This is the third fastest time to kill in the assault rifle family at close range. It's only beaten by the NVO and the TR7, and it's the second fastest at medium range, only beaten by the TR7, highlighting the potential of the M433 if you're able to maintain your accuracy. The TR7 is a weapon that has much higher recoil, so this weapon compared to the TR7 may have a slightly slower time to kill, but in my opinion, it is much more controllable as well. Speaking of accuracy, let's go ahead and take a look at the recoil and spread of the M433. I would describe the recoil on this gun as medium to medium high, with the recoil pushing up and to the right. There is some horizontal recoil, but it's admittedly not too bad. It's mostly vertical. Additionally, the spread on this gun gets to be quite bad after 4 or 5 shots, meaning that you really won't be able to hit targets at long ranges while firing full auto. Instead, short bursts or tap firing are going to be much more effective for you. For anything close range, less than 20 meters, you're going to have no problems hitting your target. Anything medium range, you could definitely use some attachments to reduce the recoil a little bit to kind of extend your effective range with this weapon. If we take a look at the strengths and weaknesses of this weapon, we can get an idea of what we want to target with our build. So one of the most obvious strengths is the short TTK at close ranges, and one of the most obvious weaknesses is the recoil and dispersion when you're firing full auto. With these in mind, we'd ideally like to have a build that helps us control the recoil a little bit to expand our effective range. That way we're a little bit more comfortable hitting targets that are at a medium distance. We'd also like to have some things that give us an advantage to help with both positioning ourselves close to the enemy team and gaining timing advantages for close range fights. We really don't need to go too hard into trying to reduce the recoil on this gun because at the end of the day, this gun will never be a laser beam that makes it super valuable at long range, so there's not much of a point in trying to maximize the recoil reduction. With that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at my preferred build for the M433. First off, let's start with the muzzle, where we have the long suppressor. I tend to like the suppressor to prevent you from getting in-world spotted when you're firing your gun. For those of you who aren't aware, if you shoot a gun without a flash hider or a suppressor in Battlefield 6, you'll get a little diamond that appears above your head in-world, and you'll get spotted on the minimap as well. Whenever you use the suppressor, you won't get the diamond above your head in-world, but you will still get spotted on the minimap for targets that are nearby. For something like the M433 and where you want to be able to get into some nice close to medium range engagements, not getting spotted in world when firing can help you sneak around a lot more and gain a positioning advantage. That's why I kind of feel like you need the suppressor on this weapon. If you go with a muzzle attachment that doesn't hide you from in-world spotting, I feel like as you're trying to sneak around, you're just going to get spotted, you're going to get the Dorito chip above your head, and then everyone's just going to attack you. The other nice thing, I mean, the suppressor obviously, quiets the sound of shooting the weapon as well, which makes people a little bit less likely to come turn in your general direction if you fire it. The long suppressor also does provide a little bit of recoil reduction. It's not quite as good as some of the muzzle brakes, but it still does help to noticeably reduce the recoil of this weapon. The long suppressor does worsen your hip fire, but I really don't find myself hip firing with the M433 very often. Whenever I was coming up with a build, I played around with some of the hip fire builds. I tried to make a maximum hip fire reduction build, but it seems like even with a lot of the hip fire attachments, this gun is still quite hard to hip fire at anything more than very close range. So I don't think it's worth trying to build for hip fire with the M433, but rather you just kind of use it whenever you have to. For the barrel, we're going to go ahead and take the light or fluted barrel. This barrel gives you a lot of desirable things for the M433 because you get both a reduction in spread while moving and also a faster transition to aimed out sights. This allows you to still be accurate while you're moving around trying to position yourself up close. And it also gives you a slight timing edge whenever you encounter an enemy because you're going to get faster ADS time. Moving on to the grip, I like the full angled grip for the M433. So this attachment provides a moderate recoil reduction as well as improved weapon draw speed and faster ADS time. This really provides a lot of very desirable traits for the M433. Combining this with the long suppressor from earlier gives us a nice reduction in recoil that makes it much easier to hit targets in the 25 to 50 meter range, while the faster draw speed and ADS time give us some nice timing advantages for close range fights. This does come at the cost of spread while moving, which sort of just cancels out the benefit that we got from the light barrel that we talked about previously. For the magazine, I tend to like the 30 round fast mag. I did play around with some of the higher capacity mags in this gun, but I really don't find them to be worth the point cost that they have. I prefer the faster reload time so that I can sort of peek around a corner, get a kill, quickly reset, reload, peek again. I'm not really spraying out a whole mag with the M433. Whenever I was trying my hipfire build especially, I tried with, an extended mag that I would just spray in hipfire, but it really wasn't particularly good. I'm much more of a fan of just a, peek, get a kill or two, quickly reset, peek again. I think that that's a very good way to play with the M433. All of the other accessory slots are empty or at their defaults with the exception of the optic, at which point you can really pick whichever one you like. I wouldn't really go anything above a 1.5x because there's not much of a point in doing so, given that this gun is best at close and medium range. I personally like the OSA 1X. I really like the wide view and the circular shape on this one. I feel like some of the other 1Xs are a little bit clunky. They take up a lot of space on your screen, whereas this one has a much more open view. It also does have the nice bright green reticle, which is a little bit easier to see. So that's the overall build, targeting a moderate amount of recoil reduction and some nice timing benefits for giving you an edge in close quarters combat. With this build, you should try to move around the edges of the fight and try to put yourself in flanking positions at close to medium ranges. You don't really want to take on too many enemies at once because you're not going to have a huge mag size, and with the rate of fire on this weapon, you tend to, dump the whole magazine pretty fast. But with this weapon, you should do short peeks followed by quick resets and then small changes in position. That way you can make use of the suppressor to keep yourself hidden and your position unknown. If you play like this with this build, you will be absolutely deadly, and you can gain a lot of value of the short TTK with this weapon. Let me know what you guys think of the build in the comment section below, and subscribe for more Battlefield 6 content. This is my first time getting into content for FPS games, so I might play around with this format a little bit and try some new things, so also let me know if you have anything that you'd like to see. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the montage.
Very well.